The movie begins with a police officer enters a cafeteria. The officer was on his usual routine of patrolling and stopped to get a warm coffee because it is raining outside. He goes into a diner to get a coffee, but is met with hostility from the servers and other patrons. On the TV, there's a news report going on about riots in the city. They did not like his entrance there, as they saw the protest against the police and mismanagement in the city. Even the old server Pops does not take his cash, saying that he is not welcome there that day. In the next scene, the officer goes on his way. After some time on the road, he sees a suspected van and turns on the siren to stop him, as well as tell the situation to the control room. He has his dash cam and body cam on as he approaches a stopped vehicle on the road. He orders the woman to come out when he sees a bloody handkerchief in the shade. In the next instant, when she comes out, the officer is heard yelling and then being thrown upwards. In the next scene, the movie goes 12 hours back when a police officer, Renee, is sitting in the police sergeant's office. She is there because she was suspended for a couple of months when she lost her son and then lashed out at a criminal who had instigated her with racial slurs. The sergeant asks her if she has recovered emotionally from the loss of her kid before allowing her to rejoin the service. She eventually goes back to working evenings since the sergeant has a soft spot for her. The watch commander will pair her, he assures her. She enters the briefing room and is paired with Danny, a novice police officer. Although everyone is glad to see Renee back, she isn't very happy to have Danny as her companion. After a while, when they begin their street patrol, they come across a young child playing alone on the pavement. She turns on her body cam before approaching him and is instantly subjected to harassment from the neighbors who don't have a good opinion about cops at that moment. Renee calms them down, saying that they were just trying to make sure the kid is all right because he was alone in the street. Renee goes back to the car with Danny lauding her ability to placate a hostile crowd. Renee seems to understand why everyone is hostile. After that, they drive further on and stop in the middle of nowhere to investigate a strange occurrence. They inspect the police car and Renee gets back in her car and turns on her laptop and attaches his dash cam to see what has happened to the car and the officer. The laptop shows her a recording of what happened to the officer we met in the first scene, Kevin. He was also a dear friend to Renee. She gets shocked to see this green van with no number plates. She sees the woman coming out of the van and then the officer being flung upward and then down on the hood of the car. The video then disappears. Meanwhile, Danny comes back as Renee seems troubled by what she saw. They check their surroundings. They get shocked when they find Kevin's bloodied body. More police are called, and when Sergeant Kesper shows up, she informs him that Kevin stopped a green Chevy van with no number plates. She responds that she watched the tape on his dash cam when he asks her how she knows all this. Even though Renee insists she witnessed the woman who did this, he now claims that the dash cam and body cam of the officer were fried and had no recording on them. Even the IT crew doesn't think she's real. The next moment, Renee goes home, where her husband asks her why she is back so early. She tells him about Kevin and says something terrible happened to him today, and she has to find out why. She goes to sleep and dreams about her son drowning. She also has flashes of the dash cam recording and finds out that that woman has a cross sign on her scrubs. She wakes up and decides to watch videos of her son. He was born in a hospital with the same icon she remembers seeing on the green parka-wearing woman who allegedly killed her colleague. She investigates further, takes Danny with her, and goes to her house. Sergeant Kesper is informed that Kevin stopped a green Chevy van without any number plates when more police are summoned and arrive. He asks her how she knows all this, and she replies that she watched the recording on his dash cam. He now asserts that the dash cam and body cam of the cop were fried and had no recording on them, despite the fact that Renee is adamant that she saw the woman who committed this. She is not believed to be real even by the IT team. At the same time, two police officers notice this van and pull over to surround the vehicle. They alert the control room and get inside. They see the woman in the green hooded parka is there too. They hold their guns at them and ask them to show their possessions. One of them opens the fire, and soon a strange shadow appears and starts killing everyone, including the cops. The next moment, Renee receives a message and heads out to the store. Renee and Danny reach there and search the van. After that, they go inside the store and find everyone dead. When she checks the security cameras to see what actually happened, the tape has vanished by the time Danny arrives. When an IT team representative arrives, she is questioned about what she may have seen. She informs her that the van has been reported missing for many months and belongs to a church. Additionally, she informs them that it was these men who killed Kevin while robbing the van. Renee claims to Danny that these are not Kevin's killers, but she knows that no one will believe her, so she grabs one of the robbers' phones as he was filming the theft. She disregards Danny's objections to her concealing the proof. She must be aware of what is happening. He tells her that she has an obsession of a kind, as she is a mother who lost her child and wants to know other women who lost their children. He asks her to let it go and leave the matter with the dead guys. She ignores him and leaves. The next day, she heads to the mortuary and, using her connections, goes to see the dead bodies. The phone apparently opens with a fingerprint. She asks him to show her the bodies. He tells her that he gets the scalps coming in all kinds of conditions, but he has never had anything come in looking like this. She asks him to give her some moments alone with the corpse. She unlocks the phone, gets inside, and finds the video but can't make sense of what is going on. But she gets a short clip of the shadow when she watches it on the TV screen. And this also vanishes in no time, causing a bit of shock for her again. She does more research on the nurse and decides to go find her the next day. She goes to the office and talks about that woman to another officer, Penda. She asks him about one of his past cases. He tells her about the case of a kid named DeMarco Brands, the son of nurse Tanisha Brands. He says that the case has nothing in it, and he got nothing much. At home, she has trouble sleeping, and her husband says that she must have to find out what this really is. The next day, curious Renee goes to his office, picks up the address of the church of the owner of the van, and reaches there. She asks the priest if he told their officers that the green van disappeared off his church's property and that it was not stolen. She tells him that she knows that it is a lie, and he lent it to Tanisha. She warns him that if you impede an investigation, that's obstruction of justice. He takes her back to speak properly. He takes her to Mirko's room and tells her that he couldn't hear. He was on community service when he got killed by senseless violence. She takes her address and leaves. When he reaches her dilapidated house, Renee finds pictures of her and the cops. She also finds the dead boy's picture, with squiggly black lines drawn over him like flames. Renee is almost attacked by a shadowy figure, but escapes just in time. Renee calls up Danny for help in finding the nurse and discussing new clues, and he promises to be there within an hour to help. When he doesn't turn up, Renee goes to his house and finds him dead in the shower. He has committed suicide and left behind a USB for Renee. Danny was afraid that Renee was close to the truth of what he too was involved in. She watches it and now understands what happened. The nurse's kid was erroneously killed when he disobeyed police orders, and all the officers who had perished thus far were involved. The boy was indeed deaf and just performing community service. The police shoot him dead without mercy rather than owning up to their error. To murder the defenseless deaf child, they all work together. She sobs while seeing the entire body camera video. After some while, she gathers herself and continues. Renee arranges a meeting with Sergeant Kessler to discuss the fresh hint she discovered. He is informed by her about Danny Hollige's passing. He had the proof in his hands. She tells him where she is and requests that he go there. The next moment, she reaches Tanisha Brands' house and shouts her name. She says that she knows what happened to her son. After some time, Sergeant Kessler appears and asks her what evidence she has. She tells him that she has the body cam footage of the number 8 of the murder. She makes him realize that this is the core issue that started the riots in the city. Unfortunately, he brings along the corrupt officials involved in the killing of the boy. Renee understands that he too is involved, and it is confirmed when he holds her at gunpoint. After that, he takes her into the warehouse and tells her that he wants to get rid of the footage. He blackmails her, saying that letting the public see that video would do nothing but weaken her department more. Penda asks her where Danny is, who kept the copy of the video. She says he is dead and she has the video. He shoots at her instantly. Fortunately for her, the nurse appeared with a strange, shadowy creature, and it frightens them all. When Kesper tries to cover her face, the same shadow reappears and murders him. She learns from Tanisha that the shadow is indeed DeMarco, and because she is powerless over him, she must leave the area. Penda flees for his life, but is finally apprehended. This time, Renee can clearly see the thing. When several emergency personnel arrive at the warehouse and transport Kesper to the hospital, the film comes to an end. In the narration's conclusion, it is revealed that Kesper was complicit in the department's corruption, as well as in the crime of the plot to kill young DeMarco. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more recap videos. See you again.